Welcome back. In this video, I'm looking at point and figure charting, and I'm going to show you what these columns of X's and O's can tell us about a stock price. They let us know when supply is in charge, when demand is in charge, and I'm going to point out some support and resistance points. If you came in here thinking that this chart looks like a tic-tac-toe board or a football play, then first of all, I understand. I've been in that spot. You need to go back and check out our technical analysis overview video first. You're going to see some of the terminology that we're going to be using in this video that'll help you get up to speed so that you're ready to view it with us. Let's go take a look. So we're looking at this point and figure chart. We see columns of X's and columns of O's. When there is a column of X's, that indicates that demand is in control of that stock. That is a bullish column. Column of O's indicates supply is in control, and that's a bearish column. When you're actually building a point and figure chart, or if you're viewing one that's already built like this, it's important to note that in order for a new column to appear, we need 3 boxes to be crossed of the next column. So if you see my cursor on the screen, we're in a column of X's. As the stock reverses lower, we cross into 1, 2, and then 3. At this point, we would have 3 O's. The stock drops 1 additional box, which if you look at the axis all the way to the right, each box here represents $2. It's going to be different depending on the stock you are viewing, but in this case, a box is $2. So it drops below, we get a 4th O. Then we see a reversal higher, 3 boxes, and we get 1 more move up for a 4th X. Reversal lower ends up being 5 O's. To use this example here, this column of 5 O's, if we're at 172 as a share price, and we had just came down from 176, these O's wouldn't be here yet. We would still be in the column of X's. These 3 O's only appear once we get into the 170 range. Now, if from 170 we move back up to 173, 174, we're still in this column of O's. So that could very well happen. We could see a stock that peaked around 177, it drops down to 169, 170, so we're in this column of O's. It can then move up to 172, 73. We're still in O's. We end up finding our way down to 164. And that's what this 5 O's could look like. So the reason I elaborated there is to let you know this is not always going to be linear. When you're in X's, the stock's not just moving straight up, and then in O's, it's suddenly moving straight down. We're really capturing trends, and the reason we allow for 3 boxes here is so that we're not getting too much data to the point that it's not actionable. So we're waiting for confirmation of a new direction that gives us a new column. All right, so that is how each column on this chart comes to be here. In addition, we can see some trend lines. So we've put some bullish and bearish trends on this chart. And if you notice here, this bull trend remained intact from a strong column of O's that took the stock to 134. We then saw X's and O's get us to the end of this trend being broken at 196. So again, 134 to 196, various X's and O's in between before that trend was broken. Something I want to note so you can understand more about what you're looking at here is you'll see these numbers mixed in. So these indicate months. We have April as 4, May as 5, June 6th, and so forth. When you get to September as the 9th month, then October, being a 10, is expressed with an A. November is a B. December is a C. And back to 1 as January. So because time is not always going to be expressed in a linear fashion here on the x-axis, it's charted right in the middle of these X's and O's. You can see in this case, April happened to be at the top of a row of O's, but a month could easily be in the middle. For example, June came in the middle of a column of X's. Whenever that month appears, you either add that number, or if you're not building it and just viewing a point and figure, you would understand at that time you've entered a new month. Some point and figure charts will indicate years at the bottom. Years are not always going to be evenly spaced because that's going to depend on how many columns of X's and O's actually happen during the year. As you get into point and figure charting, You can use this in conjunction with some conventional charting, and in addition to some fundamental analysis. You can use this to confirm or reject a hypothesis that we're in a certain trend. You can identify, are we in a bullish pattern, a bearish pattern, or more of a trading range at the moment? And you can also start to recognize various patterns within this chart. I'm not going to dive into the patterns you may see, but there are a number from pennants to flag patterns, head and shoulders, reverse head and shoulders. Each of those can tell you different information and help you to identify tops and bottoms in a particular stock's price movement. I hope you found that helpful. We wanted to keep this video fairly brief, so now if you're trying to get better as a chartist, the best way to do that is start viewing a number of charts in different scenarios. Go pull times when the market was in an uptrend, a downtrend, and a trading cycle, and look at how those charts appear. Then pull stocks that were moving with the trend, pull stocks that were moving against the trend, so you get a sense of an upward trending stock in a downward trending market. What does that look like? What does an upward trending stock in a trading type market look like? As you get a sense of all these different patterns, you'll be able to identify them and they'll start to appear regularly to you. Now, I will tell you, don't expect your friends and coworkers to necessarily join in on this hobby. They're going to see you looking at X's and O's, and they're probably going to wonder why you're spending your time doing that. You're doing it to try and increase the probability that you'll have a successful trade. Let them keep wondering why, and you just keep getting better and better at it. Hope you enjoyed.